afternoon. Welcome to the second part of our 3 weeks of handstands. This week we're going to be looking at the lower part of the body. We'll just wait a couple of minutes just to see if anyone else is waiting to join. Yeah, ideally you should, would be good if you had access to a wall, or if you can have a chair handy for class, that would be great. My cat is around, so he might join us at some point. Coming now. Here he is. This is Jojo. See Henry waiting. Nice. Okay. So if you joined us last week, you'll know that we worked on the upper body. So that's from the hands to the core. What I'd like to take from last week and bring it into this week, just to make sure our handstand is safe, is to think about straight arms and shoulder engagement. Okay, so we'll work a little bit on that in our warm-up, just to remind ourselves of what our shoulders and our upper back should be doing ideally in our handstand. Okay, so we're going to get started. So we're going to start by warming up our hands and our wrists. Just to make sure that we take time always to warm the wrists and hands up in order to keep our handstand maintaining it for as long as we can. We don't want to cause any injury. Okay, so bring your hands together and interlace the fingers. With the pinky on the outside, so keep in mind which pinky is on the outside. I'm going to draw the elbows together, have the elbows in line with the shoulders. We're just going to roll the wrists. Okay, and then we'll take them the other way. Okay, change the grip. So you're going to switch now. So your other pinky is on the outside, interlacing again, elbows together, and roll the wrists out. And take it the other way. Okay, you're going to bring your hands out in front of you. You're going to think about clenching your fists together with your thumb on the outside, and we're just going to imagine there's water on the end of your fingers. You're trying to flick the water off your hands. So we're just going to flick for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and then let's come to a tabletop position. You're going to bring the shoulders down directly over the wrists. And we're just going to pad the hands out. So think about how you lift your hand up off the floor. So you're going to try to lift the base of the wrist, and then you're going to have the knuckles on the floor, lift the knuckles and lift to the fingertips. Okay, and then place back down, base of the wrist, palm, knuckles, fingers, and fingertips press into the floor. Okay, so doing that on one hand and then doing it on the other. So building connection of the palm of the hand to the floor. Okay, and now we're going to do what we call knuckle push-ups. So you want to think about the knuckles of the palm of the hand staying on the floor, and we're just going to lift the palm of the hand. Okay, so you're lifting just the palm, keep the knuckles of that palm down and the fingers pressing into the floor. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, sit back for a moment, give the wrists a roll out. We're going to take the back of the hand to the sides of the body, so counter stretching the wrists out. Okay, let's bring ourselves over into a tabletop position again, and we'll start to warm up the spine and the core. Okay, so today the focus is we're going back to the core. Okay, most important part is a nice strong core. We're going to work down the body, activating the glutes. Pelvic tilt, so we want a posterior tilt. Okay, thighs, and nice pointed extended legs. Okay. We're coming to your tabletop. Let's take some spinal rolls. I'm going to tuck the chin under, the tailbone under, draw the navel in towards the spine. Drawing the chin firmly in towards the chest, and we'll inhale, release from the tailbone. So you're trying to release from the base of the spine to the top. You may find that it comes in just one big movement. Try to change that. So try to isolate the movement of the spine. The chest is lifted through, and tuck your tailbone under. As you exhale, roll in one vertebrae at a time. Navel to spine, draw the ribs in, chin to chest. Inhale, release tailbone first, releasing vertebrae by vertebrae from the base to the top of the spine. Let the chest lift through, lift the gaze. Exhale, curl it back in. Last one, inhale, lift the tailbone, let the belly drop, let the ribs release, let the chest to lower down, and lift the chest through. Okay, let's return to our neutral tabletop position. Just going to do a tiny little bit of scapular work to warm up the shoulders. Okay, so you can do this in a tabletop position like this, or you can take it back into a plank. I'm going to demonstrate it from a plank position. So we don't want to move anything else back to the shoulder blades. So you're going to inhale, round into your spine. So you're protracting your scapula, rounding into your upper back. Exhale, release it down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. That's 2, 3, we're going for 5, 4, 5, and release. Come back to your tabletop. Okay, if anybody's got any issues hearing me or any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat and I'll answer them when I can. Okay. So from here, we're going to slide our left leg back and our right arm forward. Lift your left leg, keep the hips in line with each other. Inhale here. As you exhale, let's draw it in. So you're going to round back into your spine and bring your right elbow and your left knee together. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay, one more. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, release back out. And exhale, come back down. Okay, we're now going to lift this right leg out to the side. So I'm going to change my position so you can see me. So still from a tabletop position, we're going to pulse the leg out to the side. Okay, so this right leg's going to turn out. I'm going to point through the toes. We're going to do this for 30 seconds. So I'm going to put a timer on. I'll just show you what we're going to do first. We're going to pulse this leg. Try not to let the toes touch the floor. We're going to do little pulses like this. Okay, for 30 seconds. So bear with me one moment while I place the timer on. Okay, so coming into position and starting, pulsing, keep squeezing the bum. You're pointing to the toes, nice strong extended leg. Okay, we're at 15 seconds. 10 seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring the leg back into the center. Okay, returning to our extensions on the left side now. So we're going to slide our left leg back and our right arm forward. That's correct, yes. Okay. Inhale. As you exhale, bring it in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. Okay. Inhale, extend back out. Exhale, bring the hand and the leg back to the floor. And then we're going to take our pulses on the other leg. So left leg. Set my timer back on. And get your position. Left leg extended out, pointed toes. And start pulsing. Okay, remember to keep the glutes squeezing, so the bum's squeezing tight. Nice strong extensions through that left leg, point through the toes. 15 seconds. Try and keep weight evenly in both hands. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the leg back into center. Okay, so from here we're going to do a little bit more core work. So we're going to come to lie back down on the floor. Okay, so I'm just going to explain what we're looking for in our handstand shape. Okay, so our handstand is based on a solid tension through the body. So we need to engage all the right muscles to make that strong and straight shape. And the balance comes from the hands. Okay, so they're separate things. When you first start handstanding, you probably balance with your body, but you want to come away from that idea and think about the body being a solid rod, and the palms of the hands are the only thing that is moving. Okay, so the movement is the weight moving around in the palm of the hand, and you're learning how to use the palm of the hand to distribute the weight. Okay, so these two things can be worked on separately. So right now we're trying to engage all the right muscles so we know what we want to be doing to get that nice straight shape first. So come to lie down on the floor. So I'm coming, got cat hair on me. I'm going to come and lie flat down. We're going to be doing sets again. Okay, so we put the timer back on in a moment. I'll just explain the first one we're going to do. Okay, so you're going to bend your knees and bring your feet in towards you. So we're going to be looking at the small of the back. So we want to avoid this big space at the base of the, under the lower back. We're looking at pinning the lower back to the floor. So to do this, we need to tilt the pelvis and imagine drawing down through the core, so you're engaging your lower abs. Okay, and this is what we're looking for throughout these sets. Okay, so we're only going to take it ever as far as you can where you can maintain that connection. So never go any further. Don't allow the lower back to lift. So we're going to bring the legs directly up towards the sky. Okay, and we're just going to keep that connection of lower back to floor. I'm going to take the legs down as far as you can to keep that connection, and then bring it back up. So we're going to be doing pulses up and down, up and down. Okay, we're going to do 1 minute with both legs, and then we'll be doing 30 seconds each, separate legs. Okay, so when you're ready, come to this position, lower backs, make sure it's connected to the floor, and have your legs up and ready to go. Okay, so starting. Up, down, and up, down, and up. Keep pointing through the toes. Think about stretching out through the front of the legs. And just keep checking in with your lower back. Okay, so we are at almost 30 seconds. Okay, so your legs will really be starting to fire up now as well. Hopefully, especially the front of the thighs. Okay, if it gets a bit too intense, you can take the legs a little bit lower, a little bit higher as you come down, okay, just to maintain that connection of lower back to the mat. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Okay, keep the legs up, take a moment, and then hug them in towards the chest. Have a little roll from side to side. Okay, I'll show you what we're going to do next. Next one, legs are both up towards the sky. Still connected to the floor with the lower back. So we're going to swipe this leg down and pulse it for 10. So we're going to do 10 here. After 10, you're going to lift the leg back up and connect them again. And then take them down for 10. Back up. Okay, so we're going to do that for 30 seconds. So be counting for yourself. So 10 pulsing, and then bring it back up. Down, 10 pulsing, and bring it back up. So when you are ready, let's go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Comes back up. Down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it back up. Down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And stop. Bring both knees back in towards the chest. You hug them back in. Take the legs back up. We're going to do the other side. My legs are shaking already. I don't know about yours. Okay, so we've got our right leg pointing up towards the sky. The left leg is going to do the pulsing this time. It's the same as the other side. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lift it back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's us done that side. Bring the knees back in towards the chest and take a little roll around. You might want to take the knees in circles one way and then the other. Maybe a happy baby would feel really good right now. So moving around and releasing it in whichever way feels good for you. Okay. Next set, we have, similar to the first exercise, but this time we're going to hug the knees in towards the chest. We're going to extend them up, take them as far down as you can, keeping that connection of lower back to floor, and then bring the knees back in towards the chest. So it's kind of like a rolling motion with the legs. Okay, so we're going to do this for 1 minute. You'll absolutely definitely be feeling alive and alert now. Sorry, I keep looking at my phone because I've got the timer here and I just want to make sure that we do it correctly. Come on. Okay, there we go. So getting into position. And let's go. Knees to chest, extend the legs up. Take them down towards the floor, only to the point you can keep the connection of lower back. Bring the knees back in towards the chest. Up, down, back in. Okay, make sure you're still taking nice deep breaths. Okay, I haven't mentioned the breath yet, but obviously it's very, very important that you are taking steady and long breaths. You keep going. We have 15 seconds left. And stop. Okay, knees back in towards the chest and give them a little roll around again. Good. Okay, from here, we are going to come up and come into an Asana, okay, or a boat pose. So coming and sitting on both of your sit bones. I'll again demonstrate what we're going to do before we do it. You're thinking about keeping the shoulders back and the chest lifted, and take the arms out in front. Okay. Pelvis is tilted under. Bring the feet up, and we're going to open out. Okay, keeping the upper back rounded so the shoulders don't touch the floor. Coming down so the lower back touches the floor, and then coming back up. Okay, so we're doing 10 of those. So when you're ready, come into position. Okay, and we're going out for 1. Come back up. Out 2. Up. Out 3. Up. Out 4. Up. Out 5. Up. Out 6. Up. Out 7. It's getting hard now. Up. Out 8. Up. Out 9. Up. Out 10. And back up. Whew, the last one was harder. Okay, bring the knees into the chest, give them a hug. Okay. So I'm just going to ask you to bring your legs into a cross-legged position. We're just going to kind of open up a little bit the chest, because I don't know about you, I feel like the front of my body needs a little bit of expansion. Okay, so I'm going to take the fingertips behind you, take your shoulders back, lift out your chest, let your ribs open out to the front. Okay, and take some deep breaths into the front of the chest. Really nice. Good. Okay, so we're now going to do a little bit of work on the hips. So to get there, let's bring ourselves over into a downward facing dog. So we'll all meet in our down dog. Think about pushing the floor away. Let's bring in the shoulders for a moment. Okay, so we're looking for that feeling of protraction in the scapula. So you want the shoulder blades wrapping around the side of the body. It's like you're trying to turn the armpits in to face each other. Okay, so you don't want them retracted, you want them rolling around the side of the body and trying to say hello to each other. Okay? So finding this in your downward facing dog. Okay, then let's bend one knee nice and deep and really push the other foot into the floor. So here I've got my right knee deeply bent, my left leg is pressing down, and I'm getting a nice stretch to the back of my left leg. Okay, then switching it over, bend the left knee nice and deep and reach the right heel towards the floor. Okay, one more on each side. Inhale, bend the right knee. Exhale, inhale, switch sides. Exhale, come back into downward facing dog. Okay, so from here, let's inhale our right leg up behind us. I want you to point your toes, okay? So we want to get into the habit for our handstand to have our toes pointed and the front of the leg really extending. Okay. Inhale here. As you inhale, you're going to inhale and then exhale. And then as you inhale again, you're going to bring that right knee towards your belly button, round into your spine, bring your shoulders over your wrists and round into your upper back. Bring that right knee close to your chin and then step it forward. Coming into a high lunge position. So taking a few moments to work into the hips nice and deep. So coming from our high lunge, we're looking for that posterior tilt. So we're going to bend our back knee and work the hips. Okay, so tuck the tailbone under and feel an increased stretch through the left thigh. Keeping that position of the pelvis, see if you can start to straighten out your back leg. When I do this, I can't actually straighten my back leg anymore. Okay, so just go easy on yourself. Priority is keeping the tilt in the pelvis. Okay, let's take the arms up overhead for a moment. So inhaling, take them up. Inhale again. As you exhale, we're going to bring our hands down to the inside of your right foot. We're going to heel toe that right foot to the outside of the mat. Okay, so my right foot is in line with the right side of my mat and very close to the edge. Then we take our left knee to the floor. I'm going to turn to face the camera so you can see what I'm doing with my hips. Yeah, I'm going to slide my back leg back a little bit. So I'm just going to use my toes by tucking them under, take my left knee back. Left palm going to come to the floor. I'm going to roll to the outside of the right foot and take my hand to my right inner thigh. And I'm going to take a moment just to massage my right thigh. So encouraging it to roll out to the side. As I do this, my left hip starts to soften further down towards the floor. You can either stay here doing this, or we can take this right arm up towards the sky as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, take the arm behind you. You either reach back with the right arm, or take the back of the hand to the lower back, or weave it around so it's to the side of your left hip. Okay, taking 5 more breaths here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, bring this right arm back up towards the sky. And then exhale, bring it back down. You're bringing our right knee back in. So our toes are pointing forward again. Okay, and we're going to now come down onto our forearms if possible. If it's not possible, you can stay on the palm of the hands. If you feel like there's some more space being created in the hips, you can slide the left knee further back. And then come down onto the forearms, or if you have a block or a stack of books handy, you might want to play with coming onto that. Okay, but we're going to keep the right knee drawn into your center now. As your forearms are on the floor, while we're here, let's keep looking at that protraction of the scapula. So we've got that rounding in the upper back. If I turn around, you'll be able to see it. So rather than just kind of like letting my chest sink towards the mat, I'm going to actively push my forearms into the floor, protract the scapula, and round into my upper back. Okay, so if you want to bring in a bit more here, you can bring this in. You want to stretch it a little bit more through the back of that back leg and tuck the left toes under and lift the knee. Okay, 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bring the left knee back down, untuck the toes, and come back up onto the palm of the hands. Okay, so from here, we're going to come back into our 3-legged dog. So pressing the hands into the floor, tuck the back toes. We're just to swipe this right leg all the way round and back. Okay, take a moment to neutralize the pelvis, so keeping both hips in line with each other and extend through the back toes. Inhale, and then let's take a vinyasa. So choice of taking a 3-legged vinyasa, so keeping that right leg lifted, or taking your right foot down and taking a normal vinyasa. Okay, so inhale to bring yourself forward and exhale, lower down. Inhale to your upward facing dog and exhale, downward facing dog. Okay. Going straight on to the other side. Inhale your left leg up. Okay, remember, hips are in line, point through your left toes. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, left knee to the belly, towards the chin, shoulders over wrists, round into the upper back, and place the foot through between the hands. Rise to your high lunge position. Okay, bringing the hands to the hips, let's bring in that pelvic tilt a little bit stronger. Okay, so bending the back knee and tucking the tailbone under, turning posterior tilt in the pelvis. Okay, maintaining that pelvic position, see if you can start to straighten out your back leg. Okay, and then bring the arms up as you breathe in. Inhale again as you exhale. Let's bring both hands to the inside of the left foot now. Okay, and then heel toe the left foot to the left side of the mat. Drop the back knee to the floor and untuck the toes. There's space in the hips. You might want to slide your back knee a little further back down the mat. Okay. I'm going to roll to the outside of your left foot. Bring the left hand to the inside of the thigh. And massaging that thigh, encouraging it to roll outwards. You're very welcome to stay here, or we'll bring that left hand up to the sky. Nice deep inhale there, and as you exhale, either reach back or take the back of the left hand to the back of the lower back and weave the arm around. You keep drawing the left shoulder back and lifting the chest. You allow that right hip to sink and the left one to keep rolling outwards. Inhale, bring that left arm back up towards the sky, and exhale, bring it back down to the mat. Okay, so bringing the left knee back into the center and placing the sole of the foot back on the floor or on your mat. Okay, again, if there's more space being created in the hips, you might want to slide your right knee back further. Now we're going to come, either stay where you are or come down onto your forearms, or if you're using any props, do the same as you did on the previous side. Okay, again, we're going to think about making this a little bit stronger. Okay, so if you want to stay here, that's totally fine. You're working with what your body needs. If you want to make it a little bit more intense, I'm going to tuck those back toes and lift the knee. Okay, or forearms are in that kind of forearm balance position with the elbows underneath the shoulders. You press the forearms into the mat and round into the upper back. You might want to bring in both of these elements. Okay, for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, take the knee back down and tuck the toes, come back up onto the palms of the hands, and returning to our 3-legged dog. Okay, so lifting the back knee, swipe that left leg out to the side and back. Take the left leg up towards the sky, point through the toes, and then taking an optional vinyasa, either a 3-legged or a normal legged vinyasa. Okay, and we'll meet back in our downward facing dog when you are done. Okay, so from your downward facing dog here, you're either going to step, walk, or jump forward and bring yourself into a seated position with the legs extended out. Okay, so the next group of exercises are targeting your hips and your thighs. Well, you'll feel it in all of your legs, but you're going to feel it mostly in the front of the thighs. Okay, so if you want to be able to, what's the word? It's easier if you have flexibility in your hips. That's why we're doing so much hip work, because there's more options in terms of shapes that you can explore, and also finding that position where the hips stack over the shoulders is also a bit easier when you've got that flexibility in the hips. Okay, so for these exercises that we're about to do, we want to think about drawing the hip into the hip joint. Okay. So the first one we're going to do is keep the legs extended, pointed, and squeezed together. The hands can either be by the side of the hips. This is the easier position. Okay, but wherever we are, we don't want to end up like this. So we don't want the chest caving in and the shoulders rolling forward. I'm exaggerating it slightly, obviously, to show you. Okay, but we ideally want to have the chest drawn through, nice and high, lifted, and the arms pressing down into the floor, which is much harder. And just check in with yourself as we're doing these, that you're not kind of like slowly sinking back and rounding, because I do this sometimes too, and it's totally normal because it's much easier to hold it with this rounded position, but we want to keep the spine long and the chest lifted. Okay, so the hands can be by the side of the hips, as I said, and we're going to be pulsing one leg at a time to start. So this first leg, our right leg, is going to be going up and down, not quite touching the floor. Okay, you can go as high or as low as your legs will allow on your hip. Okay, if this is pretty easy with the hands by the side of the hips, you're going to try and bring the hands slightly forward. Okay, so then you would be in this position, chest would still be lifted, and then you're going to lift like this. Okay, and maybe one day you can do it with your hands all the way down here. Okay, so let's start for 30 seconds with each leg. Just let me put my timer back on for us. Okay, hang on 1 second. So there we go, and stop. And okay, let's go. Right leg first. Remember, point through the toes, keep the leg firmly extended. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're doing 30 seconds. I'm just counting for the sake of counting. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 10 seconds left. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and done. Good, well done. Okay, straight on to the other side. Left leg now. Hands placed on the floor, chest lifted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Oh, so much harder for me on my left side than my right. You might have felt something similar. Okay, so it's quite interesting to figure out what's going on in the body by realizing which side is weaker than the other. Okay, so let's take 1 minute of rest. You can grab a glass of water if you like. Okay, after that minute is up, we're going to look at doing both legs at the same time. Okay, so we're about halfway through class, so it is a good opportunity just to take a moment. If you're here just sitting on your mat, you might want to just massage your thighs out. Just give them a little bit of release. All the way down the legs. Good. Okay, so we're going to get started again. So going for both legs this time. You may want to bring your hands a little bit closer in, okay? Because it is trickier with both legs. I'm going to have my hands just slightly halfway down my thighs, starting with the chest lifted, nice long spine. Okay, we are going to go for 30 seconds here as well. Stick my timer back on. Okay, and start. So press the hands down, lift the chest. 1, 2. No, I'm going to count. This one's too hard. Okay. So keep pulsing. Don't let them touch the floor. Okay, we're at 15 seconds. Keep pointing through the toes. Strong front of the legs. Okay, we're at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Okay, so even doing that, I can feel that my back starts to round as I get tired. Okay, so as soon as we realize that, we want to lift it back through again. Okay. Next one, we are going to bring ourselves into a straddle position. So let's take a wide-legged position. Okay. So you don't want to be at your maximum. You want to bring it in a little bit from that maximum point for yourself. So you don't want to be feeling it. This is not about stretching the inside or stretching your hamstrings. It's about your hips, okay, and your thighs. Okay, so don't look at it like a hamstring stretch, okay? If you feel anything there, keep drawing it in even further. So again, keep the chest lifted. We're going to bring ourselves to our right leg first. Hands are going to be either side. Again, the closer you are to your hips, the easier it is. Okay, and the further away from your hips, the harder it is. So wherever you are, don't let yourself round into your back. We're going to do 30 seconds on each side, same as we did with straight legs, but with our legs in straddle now. And for this one, think even more so about drawing the hip into the socket and then lifting it up. It makes it that little bit easier. Okay, let's go for 30 seconds on our right side. Lift the chest high, don't let that heel touch the floor. Keep pulsing and pulsing. I would like just to add that if you can't lift your leg off the floor, that's totally fine too. Okay, I should have said that before. But if you just want the intention of reaching forward and then lifting, okay, so even if you're not actually lifting, you'll still be activating the right muscles. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. Release the leg down. Okay, and we'll move straight on to the other side. Okay, turn to your left leg. Strong front of the leg, point through the toes, and lift. Pulsing, pulsing, pulsing. Chest stays lifted. We're at 15 seconds. Keep drawing that hip into the socket and then trying to lift it or lifting it. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release. Again, bring the hands to the thighs and just give them a bit of a jiggle, massage them out. Okay. All the way around, even into your glutes. Okay, next one is the 2 legs. Okay, so again, if the legs don't lift off the floor, just think about drawing them into the hip sockets and then stretching out through the front of the legs, out through the toes, and then you should feel at least the muscles working, okay? So the hands are coming in front of us now, about shoulder width apart, pressing firmly into the floor, keep the chest lifted, and we're going to be lifting, pulsing, both legs lifted for 30 seconds. Okay, so I'll stick the timer back on, okay, and when you are ready, let's go. Pulsing, pulsing, pulsing. This one is really hard. Keep going, chest lifted. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And release. You want to take a little bit of a rest by taking a forward fold so you can widen your straddle if you like, or keep it where it was. And this time we're going to flex the feet. Reach the heels away. Make sure your knees are turned towards the sky. Keep the spine long and wander the hands forward. If you have any cushions or props that you would like to take to relax forward onto, we're going to take 10 breaths here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Please gently walk hands back in towards you. Please point the toes. Let's bring the knees in for a moment. So we'll slide the hands under the knees, bend the knees gently in towards us, and hug the legs in towards the chest. Okay, so for the next one, we're going to be doing a lever drill. Okay, so if you don't know what lever is, and I'm still working towards it, and I'm quite far away from it, but it's a good drill to just really engage the core, okay, and find what we want is kind of floating for our handstand. So as little effort, we want to use as little effort entering our handstand, our freestanding handstand, as possible. Okay, so we shouldn't be using too much momentum, and this exercise activates all the right muscles to do that. Okay, so we're going to, as you did with your wide-legged lifts, we're going to take the hands in front of us, and you are going to roll back, so you're going to round into your spine. Bring yourself forward, lift your chest, and see if you can lift your bum and your legs, and then roll back. Okay, so we're going to go for 10 of these. Okay, if you find that you just can't get off the floor, that's okay, just put the weight in the hands, try and reach your chest forward, and see if you can take some weight off your bum. Okay, so either that, or you might just bring the bum up off the floor, or you might be able to get the bum and the feet up off the floor. If you're super advanced and you can bring the legs up even higher, then go for it. Okay, so when you're ready, I'm actually going to give us a minute to do this because it gives you time to work at your own pace rather than really quickly going through it, so you can focus on using the best form that you possibly can. Okay, so let's take a minute to do 10 of these. Do it in your own time. If you're not done 10 at the end of the minute, it doesn't matter, it's okay. Okay, let's go for it. Okay, so we're rolling back, toes are still pointed, coming forward, lifting the chest, lift the bum. Okay, and back, and forward, and back, and forward, and back, and forward. Okay, you don't need to do the same pace as I am. Okay, back, and forward, and back and forward. Okay, so we've got about 15 seconds left to play with this. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, and stop with that exercise. You bring the knees back in towards the chest and hug them back in again. Okay, so we're now going to have some handstand playtime. Okay, so depending on where you are, I'll try to give as many options as possible. But all together, we're going to do the initial drill together. So we're going to come and sit on our shins. As we did before with all of those drills that we just did with the leg lifts, you can have your hands quite forward, okay, and have your bum slightly off your feet. You want to always make sure that your shoulders are over your wrists though, okay? But if you can, bring your hands closer in towards you. So they might be just in front of the knees. They might be back a little bit next to the shins. But wherever you are, shoulders stay over the wrists. And you want to, before you do anything, we're going to do that protraction and rounding of the upper back. Okay, so we don't want to start here with the chest lifted. We want to round, draw the ribs in, protract the scapula, bring the chin in towards the chest, and this is our starting position. From there, we're going to lift our hips as high as we can, ideally taking them as close to over the shoulders as possible, by keeping the toes on the floor. Okay, so I'll show you first. We're going to round into the upper back, lift the hips high, bring the head through, and gaze towards your knees. And then exhale, bring it down. You can release your chest for a moment before you go again. Round into the upper back and lift. Exhale, down. Okay, so we're going to do 10 of these together. So when you're ready, you bring the hands to the floor, press into the floor, round into the upper back. And inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, 2. Back up, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Give yourself a moment. Shake out your shoulders. Allow them to soften and relax just for a moment. So the next one we're going to do is we're going to do sets. So we're going to look at 3 different shapes. We're going to look at the straddle. We're going to look at a tuck and a pike. Okay, so there's a fine balance here between knowing what you're aiming for and overthinking it. Okay, so I'm going to show you the shape. If you are uncomfortable doing it freestanding, you can do it with the wall behind you, so you don't have the fear of letting yourself go too high that you might fall out. Okay, so choose, depending on your comfort level, whether you want to do it on your mat or with your back to the wall. I will demonstrate both for the first one. Okay. So for this, we're going to start with our toes tucked under, because as you might have realized from the last drill, with your toes on the floor, it can be a bit uncomfortable. Okay, so starting again with our hands on the floor, of course, round into the upper back. So the first shape we're looking at is our straddle position. Okay, so our straddle is the legs, the hips go up and then the legs open out. Okay, so I will show you one. I may not go very high, but you'll get the idea. Okay, so we're going to kick the feet off the floor and then lift the legs up and out, and then come back down. So you want to ideally arrive back at the same position you started at. Okay. So if you notice, my hips go up and then my legs go out. Hips go high as they can, then my legs go, they roll, they open out and then they roll in, roll externally. Yes. Okay, so they're up and then out, up and then out. Okay, so hips first and then legs. So it might be that you just do this and you get the initial movement. That's totally fine too, but either we're going to go for 10 of these. We're going to try and just keep going with it. And again, not looking for a hold or overthinking what we're doing, just trying to get our body used to that motion. Okay, so when you're ready, place your hands on the floor and we'll go up and down, up and down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Nice. Okay. Again, give yourself a shiggle. Let go of any tension. Okay, I realized I did say I was going to demonstrate the wall and then I didn't. Okay, so I will show you now for the next one. Apologies for that. So the next one we're going to be looking at is our tuck. Okay, so I'll show you against the wall if you can see me okay. And then I'll show you an option if you don't have a wall handy. So for our tuck, we would be starting as I did in a freestanding. Okay, toes tucked under. And you just be coming up, tucking these in towards the chest. Okay, with the wall there to catch you if needed. Okay, if you want to look at your tuck without jumping into it, you could use a chair. To use the chair, you have your hands on the floor and take your feet to the chair and then walk yourself in so you can bring your thighs in towards your chest. And then try and take the hips and stack them over the shoulders. Okay, so this is an option too. Assuming you're staying with me and my drills either at the wall or on the mat, we'll go for our tucks. Okay, so we're going for 10 tucks. Hands on the floor. Toes tucked under, round into the upper back. And we're going 1, it's quite heavy, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Good. And give yourself another shiggle. Then we've got one more set to do. And then we can wind down. So the next position is a pike. So it's very similar to that exercise that you just did at the beginning, where you were bringing yourself up and taking your head through. Okay, it's almost exactly the same. The only thing is you might want to add in a bit of a hop, which means the legs will start to come up and they're going to come parallel to the floor. So you're making like an L shape with your body. So I'll show you one. You can either do the little hops or you can just do the exercise we did first, where you just keep the toes on the floor and bring the head through and gaze towards the knees. Okay, if you want to do a little hop, round into the upper back and bring the legs up and up. Okay. So either with the hop or without the hop, we'll do 10 together. I'm going to do it without the hop. Okay. Toes tucked under. When you're ready, we'll go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, if you're still playing with it, I realize if you're hopping up, it might take a bit longer than that. Okay, so finish off what you're doing, and then come sit back down. Okay, so you should feel like your lower body's really being worked. Your core, your hips, and your thighs, probably your lower legs as well, but maybe not quite as much so. Okay, so we're going to come to the floor and release the glutes a little bit. So come lie down on your back. You're going to take this position, taking our right ankle over our left thigh. You're going to open your right knee in front of you and flex your right foot. And then draw that left thigh into the chest. You can weave your hands through, take the back of that left thigh or the front of the shin. And release the hands. The legs come up. Take both legs towards the sky. Bend your right leg and cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Open your left knee towards the front and flex your left foot. And then draw that right thigh in towards the chest. Release the hands. Release the legs. Okay, I just want to come back up to seated for a moment just so we can release the back of the neck. Okay, because there's a lot of tension that builds up in the neck and the shoulders when you're doing your handstand. So let's bring ourselves onto our shins. We're going to bring the hands and clasp them at the base of the skull and almost try to lift the skull up. Keep the ribs drawn in, kind of round into your back and bring your chin in towards your chest. And you're going to let yourself come forward. So your head comes towards the floor, really rounding in. You have option to take it further by rolling onto the top of the head. You take your hands behind the thighs or take them to the back of the feet. Bring the bum back down, roll yourself back up. Okay, and come into your Shavasana. You ran out of time. Let's lower ourselves down and take our feet mat width apart. Make yourself as comfortable as you possibly can. Very well deserved rest. Okay, you may want to stay in your Shavasana after class. If you do, that's perfect. You should stay longer in your Shavasana. But if you have any comments or feedback, please do let us know. If you are wishing to come out of your Shavasana, you can start to do that now. Otherwise, taking as much time as you would. Hope you enjoyed the class.